Welcome. It is great to see you all, and we are so glad you are here in person and virtually. My name is Maryann Postans, and I'm the service coordinator today. And the reflection will be done by our minister, Dr. Leon Dunkley. And there are a lot of things happening at North Chapel each week, so please take the time to read your order of service and visit the church website for all the news. A couple of things I noticed, listening to our lives, which is Wednesday at 3:30, so talk to Richard Schramm if you want to do that. And then there's pizza night on Wednesday night, and I know Sarah has an announcement.
Good morning, everybody. It's so good to be with you again. And I am wanting to let you know about an event that we're going to have here July 18th, 19th, and 20th. And it is the Oneness Global Summit. There are flyers in the back, there's this, and there's this that are in the back. And this is an event that is taking place globally by definition, and there will be at least 40,000 plus people attending all over the world. The first day will be, it's peace, trying to just settle ourselves down with all of the chaos that's happening around us. The second day is peace and connection in relationships. And the third day is peace and in abundance or scarcity. So there's peace in more material things, all right? The flyers are in the back. There will be in the program and on InTouch. There are opportunities for you to figure out. There's a QR code, and there's also a link for you to sign up and register. And we would love to have you come. We'll have a picnic and a teaching from 6 till 9, and then afterwards music and sharing around fire. See you soon.
Childcare is in the parlor, and Taylor is here to do childcare down here in the front. If you are visiting today, we would love to have you sign the guest book in the back on the table. And there are hearing aids back there if you need them. The opening words today are by Richard Blanco. He was chosen as the poet for the 57th presidential inauguration, January 21st, 2013, so for Obama. It's called One Today, and I'll only read it partially. One sun rose on us today, kindled over our shores, peeking over the Smokies, greeting the faces of the Great Lakes, spreading a simple truth across the Great Plains, then charging across the Rockies. One light waking up rooftops, under each one a story told by our silent gestures moving behind windows. My face, your face, millions of faces in morning's mirrors, each one yawning to life, crescendoing into our day, pencil yellow school buses, the rhythm of traffic lights, fruit stands, apples, limes, and oranges arrayed like rainbows begging our praise. Silver trucks heavy with oil or paper, bricks or milk teeming over highways alongside us, on our way to clean tables, read ledgers, or save lives, to teach geometry or ring up groceries. America, America, God shed her grace on thee, and thy good with sisterhood from sea to shining sea.
I see you, I need you, I am you. If we choose to allow for the possibility, and if we commit ourselves, our interdependence can open a way forward that is truly beautiful. I was up too late last night. My neighbors were having another party. It kept me awake for a little while, and it was okay. I didn't mind. It was a birthday gathering, and there was a fire, and there was music, and laughter, and good friends, and good food, and grace, and gratitude. Dan Kinney was there, a face that was new to me. We shared small talk at first. We were talking about beauty, about artists in general, and about Sabra Field in particular. I mentioned how glad I am to know her, especially her sarcastic and funny side. And he said something like, artists, they're crazy, but I love them. We need people making beauty these days. I was touched. I didn't know I had had my emotional head in the sand, but that touched me. I didn't know until that moment how much I longed to hear the wisdom from a man that I had never met before. I remembered his words and I wrote them down and I asked if I could share them with you this morning. He said that I could. Our interdependence opens in a beautiful way. The Bible tells us of God's promise to comfort those who mourn, to bestow upon them the crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, the garment of praise instead of the spirit of despair. That's what Dan Kinney did in our brief exchange yesterday. He comforted me. I didn't know that I was mourning until Dan made me laugh about creative artists. We need people making beauty these days. I was touched. I felt the need to start turning things around. Good morning and good Sunday. I hope that this new day finds you well. Today is July the 6th. This is a 4th of July service entitled Reflections on Interdependence, our theme for the month of July. It honors that part of us that has chosen to be loyal first to love, loyal first to beauty. It draws on a poem by Richard Blanco, a poem that forced Maryann, Postans, and I into hours of conversations in preparation for this morning. Hours that were filled as much with tears for me as with laughter, and I thank you for that, Maryann. It was wonderful. To all souls, and truly to all souls, I say good morning. It is good to be together. I have an awesome friend who is all of 9 years old right now. A beautiful kid in the true meaning of the word beautiful. The word beautiful is complicated now. especially in politics. I'm not, that was not supposed to be funny. So I'm no great fan of talking about politics in church, but beauty really matters. When the central tenets of a church are threatened, when the concept of sanctuary itself is under siege, when human values are placed at risk, it doesn't do the holy any good to turn away. It doesn't do the holy any good to put its head in the sand, her head in the sand, his head in the sand, their head in the sand. At the same time, arguing about partisan politics in the language of partisan politics, using the methods of partisan politics while stuck in the trappings of partisan politics almost never leads us to the good and great amen. Lots of politicians are claiming Christianity these days, but few of them are honest about it. Texas Representative James Tallarico is honest about it. I'm a great fan of James Tallarico. He says, what would Jesus do about a tax system that benefits the rich over the poor? He says, what would Jesus do about a healthcare system that forces the sick to start a GoFundMe page in order to afford life-saving surgeries? He said, what would Jesus do about an education system that ties school funding to their communities' property wealth? What would Jesus do about a justice system that incarcerates more people than any other country on the face of the earth? And what would Jesus do about an economic system that prioritizes profits over health of our planet? Would he stay in his room and pray? Or would he walk to the seat of power and flip over the tables of injustice? Representative James Tallarico is a Christian. He was in seminary. Now he's in the government. But he is not a Christian nationalist. So for him, talking about human values, talking about politics are two different things. Tallarico doesn't talk politics because talking politics is awful now. It hasn't always been this way. Politics used to be less vulgar, less divisive. It used to be more natural to us. What Aristotle said thousands of years ago still rings true today. Man, humanity, is by nature a political animal. Aristotle defines politics as the study of how people should best live together in communities. The study of how people should best live together in communities. He felt that community, what he called the polis, from where politics gets its name, the polis was essential for achieving a good and fulfilling life. When I say that I'm not a fan of talking politics in church, this is not what I mean. We use the word politics differently now. We use it to refer to a manipulative or underhanded tactics used to gain power or influence, or the behind-the-scenes maneuvering and power struggles with organizations. We don't talk about community anymore, except in voting blocks. How is the Black community going to vote? How are women going to vote? And now, what is best for Alaskans at the expense of others in the country? We compete against one another at the expense of ourselves. We rarely say, I see you, I need you, I am you. This is the language of interdependence, and it can be a beautiful thing to declare it. It can be a sacred thing to declare it. We are one another. One of us is coughing right now and left the sanctuary so as not to disturb the rest of us. And another member of us, Tambry, walked to follow to see if she's okay. I'm sure Tambry is out of earshot now, downstairs getting a glass of water, saying, I see you, I need you, I am you. We sometimes say that talking politics isn't a sacred thing, but I believe that it depends on how you do it. I believe that it depends on the definition of politics that you choose. Aristotle or the one, Aristotle's definition, or the one we often settle for on television. When we choose Aristotle's definition, when we truly cherish community, when we cherish the value of the common good, when we truly see ourselves in one another, the more beautiful way forward becomes obvious. The more perfect union becomes possible. The value of interdependence becomes delicious. Interdependence means strong hands to weak and old hands to young. It's symbolized in a picture on the cover of your orders of service. My hand, my arm, embracing the same of my 9-year-old dear friend, on a table made of wood that was milled in the 19th century, back when we more deeply valued community and valued the polis. In the 18th century, in the Declaration of Independence, our forebears wrote, when in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, they should declare the cause which impels them into separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident. Signed by representatives of the 13 colonies, signed on the 4th day of July in 1776, 249 years ago, signed by Virginia and Massachusetts, New Hampshire and Maryland, Connecticut and Rhode Island, Delaware, North Carolina and South Carolina, New York and New Jersey, Pennsylvania and Georgia. Signed by the likes of Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin, Samuel Adams and John Hancock. Signed by William Ellery, the grandfather of William Ellery Channing, one of the most prominent and most influential Unitarian ministers in history. Things are hard right now. I need not remind you of this, but now is the time to choose new possibilities for mutual redemption, truly revolutionary possibilities in love and with mindful of the rising generations still to come. It is so important to think about the generations still to come, my 9-year-old good friend. It's important that we reach out to them, and so important that they reach out to us. It is important that we give them good reason to do so when they reach. We must be worthy of their efforts. We must learn to see ourselves in them, not to teach them anything, unless they ask for it, but to gather around the fires and sing and laugh as friends in grace and in gratitude, to make beauty like artists together, to weave ourselves a garment of praise. We need each other in the great triumph and in perpetual mediocrity. It is so important that we see ourselves in one another. Richard Blanco expresses this in a poem called The Declaration of Interdependence. He writes, "We are a mother's bread, instant potatoes, and milk at the checkout line. We are her 3 children pleading for bubblegum, and their father. Where the 3 minutes she steals to page through a tabloid, needing to believe that even the stars' lives are joyful and bruised." This is who we are, and this poetry is for us. We are the farmers who grew the corn, who plow into couches that are worn as deeply as his back at the end of the day. We are TV sets blaring the news, having everything and nothing to do with the field dust in his eyes or his son nested in the ache of his arms. We are his son. We are a black teenager who drove too fast or too slow, talked too much or too little, moved too quickly or not quickly enough. We are the blast leaving the gun. We are the guilt and the grief of the cop who wished that he had not shot. This is who we are, and this poetry is for us. We are the cure for hatred caused by despair. We are the good morning of a bus driver who remembers our name. We are the tattooed man who gives up his seat on the subway, where every door held open with a smile when we look into each other's eyes, the way we behold the moon. We are the moon. We're the promise of one people, one breath, declaring to one another, I see you. I need you. I am you. Poetry reminds us of the promise that lies within us, reminds us of the beautiful, reminds us of the best in us becoming possible. Poetry reminds us of the values of the common good and that they are truly sacred. The values that uphold societies are truly sacred. Why have we chosen words and embattled conversations that are so rancorous, so falsely partisan, so polarizing, and so belligerent to describe such a sacred thing as this? We run the risk of losing out on something far more important than politics. We run the risk of losing the value of beauty. It is important to disengage. With all of the madness that goes on in the world around us, it's important that we do so. It's important to engage these things directly, also, to engage them beautifully, in a manner that leaves behind the rancor and the partisanship, in a manner that leaves behind the polarization and the belligerence. It is important to sing and to dance and to love and to laugh and to pray in beauty. And it is also quite meaningless to do otherwise. For we are longing in our hearts most deeply for something better than the daily news, for something more beautiful than the business of Washington. We long for something that releases us from feeling isolated and atomized, held off from life and love and laughter that sustains us all. It is revolutionary now. Perhaps it has always been this way, but it is revolutionary to refuse to be privatized in the soul. It is revolutionary to refuse to be atomized in the spirit. This is our resistance. We strive for true community. I maintain a practice of spiritual resistance, a constant practice that looks very much like singing. I look like I'm singing, but I'm really not. It's not music, it's prayer. It seems like music because it's so normal and so ordinary, and I do it all the time. It feels so casual and so mundane, it's easy to forget that it's actually sacred. I pray in unlikely places, in coffee shops, in grocery stores. I pretend like I'm just singing, but I'm really not. I'm really praying for our community, for all of us, no exceptions, all souls. It's really fun, and you should try it. Use any kind of music. It feels more like prayer when I'm listening to jazz or classical music, A Love Supreme by John Coltrane or The Mass in B minor by Bach. It feels less like prayer when I'm listening to pop or disco, but it is still prayer. With the right attitude, you can find the holy in every kind of music. You just have to open your heart. You just have to work for it a little bit. When we do, we find the holy in the music of Aretha Franklin and the music of the Eagles. In fact, the Eagles have been calming me down and giving me hope as of late. They sang, I used to hurry a lot, I used to worry a lot, and I used to stay out till the break of day. I didn't get it. It was high time I quit it. I just couldn't carry on that way. I did some damage. I know it's true. I didn't know I was so lonely till I found you. When we imagine that this you is something precious, is something holy, then we are right there, standing out on the edge of something special. They sing. Who can go the distance? We'll find out in the long run. We can handle some resistance if our love is a strong one. We were scared. but we ain't shaking. We're trying to bend, but we ain't breaking. Pop music, for sure, this is. But it doesn't stop us from being able to hear it in a sacred way. And maybe it's sacred when we hear it in a sacred way. Maybe we are magical in this way. I sing songs like these in grocery stores without turning any heads, knowing that what I mean in my heart is what Bach said best in Latin, Kyrie eleison, Christe eleison, Agnus Dei, qui tollis peccata mundi, miserere nobis, dona nobis pacem. Translating these words mean, Lord, have mercy on us. Christ, have mercy on us. Lamb of God, that taketh away the sins of the world, have mercy and grant us peace. I have a friend who is all of 9 years old, the child of a colleague of mine, a beautiful child, in the truest sense of the word. And I want to defend the beautiful for this young kid today. I want to defend our values, and I want to do so artfully, being fierce and tireless champions of the common good. I heard a young woman defending the common good online recently. She went right at it. It was great. El Cordova is her name, and she faced it all so squarely. She artfully reclaimed what is truly beautiful. She sang, I'm gonna do this poorly, but representatives and senators hanging out in Congress, working on a budget on Capitol Hill, kicking granny off Medicaid to give the rich a tax break. Oodalada, oodalali, golly, what a bill. Selling off the public lands to billionaires with big plans, rolling back protections for the oil man to drill. 2.8's the estimate they're adding to the deficit. Oodalada, golly, what a bill. The forests are burning and the hurricanes are churning and the heat waves scorching the air. They're terminating NOAA, putting FEMA in a coma, but I'm still there. I still there offer thoughts and prayers. Millions losing health care, food stamps, and clean air. Hospitals are closing because they cannot pay the bills. There ain't nothing beautiful about fossil fuels and funerals. Oodalada, golly, what a bill. It's not a feel-good song, even though she sings it in that way. It's a song that puts us squarely where we need to be to reclaim the beautiful in the most powerful of ways. It calls us out of our enclosures, out of our privacy, out of our insecurity, into what is truly communal good. Look at how beautiful we are right now. Look at how gorgeous we are. I mean it, look around. Look at how beautiful we are. I can't see any of this when my head is in the sand. What is truly beautiful embraces the common good. The bill that has been called beautiful does the opposite. NOAA is the National Oceanographic Atmospheric Association. They work for the common good. FEMA is the Federal Emergency Management Agency. They work for the common good. You can't work against the common good and pray at the same time. These can happen simultaneously. To try to do so is manipulative and underhanded. It's the opposite of prayer. So I'm no fan of talking politics in church or anywhere, really, because the language we've settled for is vulgar and rancorous. It's belligerent at the expense of real allegiance, real loyalty, and true grit, no matter how we choose the best ways to live together, no matter how we choose ways for achieving the good and fulfilling life. Our anthems still explore what is possible in beauty when we sing, "Oh, beautiful, our heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self our country loved, and mercy more than life." To know what it means to be beautiful is to know that we need each other. We truly value interdependence. So I'm going to start doing a better job of proclaiming the value of interdependence. I'm going to start singing more loudly in grocery stores. Sacred music and secular music the same. Whatever brings us all together. I'm going to start doing a better job of crossing the border, crossing the hardest border to cross right now. We used to call that reaching across the aisle. But it's harder now. We should figure out a way to make that easier. But I can't do it by myself. I need some help. Justice Sonia Sotomayor and Justice Amy Coney Barrett from the United States Supreme Court are offering help. They have different methods and they're born of different orientations, but they share a deep belief in the importance of community and a deep belief in maintaining the integrity of the public trust. This is fundamental. This value is fundamental to both of them. Community and public integrity require interdependence. We need each other. We have to learn to see ourselves in one another. It won't be easy, I know, because we've let the evil cross our doorstep in the form of fear and animosity. We have to steer clear of that. We have to choose a new possibility. We have to commit ourselves. We have to choose to be surprised, and we have to grow. Two justices agree that it starts with something surprisingly simple. We have to engage with people outside of our usual circles. So we might better listen to one another, so that we might better wrestle with our own values, so that we might better have the honest conversations at the local level. They are so important. They help us to remember the value of the common good. How do we lay the groundwork for this? How do we set the conditions? How do we acquire the tools that we need so that we might more kindly disagree, so that we might disagree better? And in the process, maybe even become friends. I know that it sounds a bit pie in the sky, but that's just because it hasn't happened yet. We don't really believe that we need one another. We behave as if we do not need each other. But if we choose to allow for a new possibility, and if we commit ourselves honestly, interdependence can open the way forward for that which is truly beautiful. Are you up for it? The journey starts in the parlors about 15 minutes after coffee hour begins. I'm going to share excerpts from a PBS documentary called Deadlock and have a brief discussion about it. We might do it once, we might do it twice, we might do it 500 times until we get it right. I'll see you there. Maybe so. Blessed be. And amen.